This is the Coquelet Super Tourisme 600. At $14.3 million, it is the most expensive car in the world. It was built to celebrate the revival of the Coquelet brand as the halo car to put the company back at the top of the performance GT game. It has a bespoke turbocharged V10 making 600 horsepower and a highly complex 4x4 system, capable of launching this car from 0 to 60 in just 2.3 seconds. It is completely handmade, with each example being highly customizable for the customer. The sleek modern design turned heads during its launch at the Geneva Auto Show, and what a showstopper it was. Classically beautiful from every angle, yet modern and timeless. We had the pleasure of putting this car to its paces in Italy to see if it's worth the whopping price tag to join this exclusive owners club. For this past weekend, I've been touring this wonderful Italian island in this amazing sports grand tourer, and I have to hand back the car to Coquelet in just 5 minutes at the Tesoro Hotel. Unfortunately, I'm running late, so I'll give my verdict on the car on my way there. First of all, I want to praise the styling. The car is just jaw-droppingly beautiful, and that's how it has become so popular. And just as nice as the styling is the engine note. What a beautiful whine, tuned to perfection. It's hard to pick one thing to start with when it comes to the dynamics of the car, because to be honest, they're all linked. The smoothness of the engine and the all-wheel drive system are at perfect unison with the great traction of these chunky tires. The engine really is smooth. It is remarkable how it can't upset the tires and the all-wheel drive system at any speed. But to me, it just comes with the flow. The engine produces only 592 horsepower out of a turbocharged 5.7-liter engine. I honestly believe that sort of power would have been possible without a turbo. The turbo should have unlocked higher potential on this engine, and for this price point, it's a little bit unacceptable. Now towards the dynamics of it. I simply love how stable this car is, nothing upsets it, be it the biggest or the smallest bumps. And the turning is just sublime. The car was tuned to oversteer with the traction systems there to keep it from doing so. It reminds me of how the Eurofighter jet needs the systems to control it, and the driver really is just a coach telling it where to go. It's not the most pure driving experience, but it's certainly special. A car of this size just turning so well is just a sight to behold. But just like the engine, there's a downside. The car is just too stiff for a Grand Tourer, even if it's a Sport GT. I honestly would have liked it to be softer because after a weekend it does start to get painful to drive this. Finally, I have to finish with my biggest criticism of the car. It's just the price. $14 million. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's held up to the most intense quality standards. The price is indicative of the incredibly limited production, but despite it being handmade luxury sports Grand Tourer, I just can't help but feel that Coquelet has asked too much for it. I honestly, for this price, the performance doesn't justify 1/10 of the price because an Aston Martin has similar performance, and that's that's really what kills the car for me. But otherwise, it is an amazing experience. And really, what I just said about the Aston Martin is rubbish because it doesn't get any close to it. I'll shut up a bit now for you to enjoy the wonderful acoustics of this car. price tag is inane, but the car is truly special. I truly love how in sync all the aspects of the car are. I frequently drive cars with great engines that are bogged down by the chassis or vice versa. This is what you're paying for, a balance that is near impossible to find almost anywhere else. Truthfully, the price sets this car up to fail in a review. Our job is to tell you if your car is worth your money, and no car is worth $14 million from new. This car is almost like investing in the company itself so it can grow from now on. And if you have the means, I honestly think this car is great. It's not the most powerful thing in the world, but if you have $14 million, you can afford that for one of your other garage spots. And just like that, I'm arriving at the Tesoro Hotel after this rather short weekend with this car. It really made me wish it lasted as long as it is timeless. Have a good one, everyone.